Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
The #1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All righty, we're with you again. Gun Talk. If you'd like to join us, it's 866-TALK-GUN. That gets you in here, or shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. Now, because his schedule is so crazy, a few days ago I was able to record an interview with Mark Hanish. He is, of course, one of the top 3 gun competitors. He's also with F&H USA, a company that makes these incredibly great guns. And so I was able to have him tell us all the new stuff that they're doing, so you can hear that now. So here's my interview with Mark Hanish. One of the great firearms companies, literally of the world, one of the earliest ones in the world, of course, is the folks at FN. They make more guns than you possibly can imagine. And we are joined right now with the director of sales of FN. Also, you know him on TV as a 3-gunner, a shooter extraordinaire. Mark Hanish joins us right now. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Tom, how are you this morning?
Good. Now, you were just telling me before we got started here that, you know, as much as you are a top shooter, you're not doing much shooting these days. What is wrong with you?
You know, in all the things that life has to offer, this year it's just been one of the shooting's been one of those things that has had to take a back seat to family and to work. So just been working a ton this year, and you know, the shooting matches and the schedule will be there next year when I come back.
Yeah, it's weird when life interferes with all your fun stuff, you know?
Well, fortunately, it's been, fairly intertwined here for a couple of years, and, this year I was able to shoot Iron Man. You know, I wanted to defend my title, so I had to go up there, and didn't quite get it done, but got a second place finish in the heavy match, and then the awesome 3-Gun Nation TV show that you see on there. New format this year, so had to went and shot one match down in Tulsa, and just out of nowhere got very, very fortunate and did exceptionally well at it. So we're just down there this past weekend shooting the final 16 and then the top 8 shoot-off for the big $50,000 prize. And
yeah, you're just lucky. That's all it is, Mark. Yeah, just pure luck. Year after year after year, you're just lucky.
Hey,
yeah, I'm not buying it, man.
Every once in a while you get lucky.
Well, now, I kind of started this off by at least touching on the whole FN history, and there are a lot of people who may not really understand how long the history is or how big FN is. Can you touch on that for just a second?
Absolutely. I mean, FN became a company back in 1889 in Liège, Belgium, and it originally answered the call for the government back there to produce 150,000 Mauser rifles. Well, none of the individual rifle makers could accomplish that, so they all banded together, created FN, which was the Fabrique Nationale, or National Factory, and it really was the national factory. And since then they've dedicated themselves back in Belgium, and then now coming across the pond to the U.S. as being the world's premier designer, developer, and manufacturer of machine guns. And we have a long history of that, starting with John Browning and cooperating and working with him. And we've been building his designs from the start of the last century. And, we've continued dedicating the business to being the world's best machine gun manufacturer.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere you go in the world, any given army, there's a really, really good chance you're going to see FN products being used there.
Absolutely. We have fairly significant market share around the globe.
Yeah, exactly. So let's fast forward. We may not be able to buy those cool things here, but you do have a lot of cool things, and I mean like uber cool. I'm looking at PS90, the SCAR, and you're going, man, that's like the coolest stuff in the world.
The American consumer loves, like all of us, gun folks love what the military is running and what's the exotic guns and so forth. And FNH USA has made a business and a career out of converting our military products and selling them to consumers. And when we say we do that, we do just what we have to do to make them legal to sell, on the commercial market. We're converting our full auto machine guns into a semi-auto. There's not a different line or anything else to where, the guns are different, but you mentioned one right there, the PS90. I mean, it's a fantastic gun, and that comes right from our P90, developed for a military application. And the same thing with our F2000 into our FS2000 so that the consumer can purchase that. And we've continued that into our very popular SCAR line, the Special Forces rifle. That rifle, you can have and you can own, and you get all the features and benefits and all the wonderful manufacturing and all the things that the SCAR does, with the sole exception of it being full auto.
It doesn't have the 3-position switch. Other than that, that's it.
Doesn't have the 3-position switch. And we are carrying that forward into the future. We launched our FN15 line last year, which brings the AR-15 design from FN. Now we've been producing, and many people aren't aware that we've been producing the M16 for the U.S. government since the early 1990s.
Right.
And then for the last several years, we've been producing the M4, and we were just awarded another M4 contract. So we've been producing M16s and M4s for the government, and now you, as average Joe citizen, can buy an FN15 from us. And to take that one step further, not only can you get the latest and greatest super cool AR-15 with M-LOK and Magpul furniture and surefire muzzles and Timney triggers, get cool stuff from us. We're going to release a collector series right now.
Oh, really? I had not heard this. This is news.
Somewhere we've been keeping under our hat, and now we are going to get them out there just in time for Veterans Day this year.
Talk to me. What is it?
For all the folks that love the military, hopefully have served or weren't able to serve, you can now get an FN15 military collector M4 or military collector M16. And imagine, taking one of our M4s or M16s right off the rack and having that as a commercial firearm to where that thing looks the same. It's got our military roll stamp on it. It's got the selector says auto. It obviously doesn't go there, but it says it, and it's got the Knights rail on it and the Maytech rear sight and the proper sling swivel on it. I mean, down to the last detail, as close as we could get to where you could take, an M16 and one of these collector guns, lay them on a table from, a couple feet away. You couldn't tell the difference. Wow,
that's very cool. So you're figuring about Veterans Day is the release on those?
Yes, yeah, we're looking at Veterans Day this year.
Perfect.
To get those out for folks to take them on home.
We also have something else going on. I just was looking, and we have it on the GUNDELIO smartphone app also. But you've got special promotions. I'm looking at the PS90, which is like the uber cool gun anyway. And you buy one, you get 5 extra magazines?
I believe so.
Holy cow.
It's a great pistol or a great carbine, and it's one of those things. It's small, it's compact, it's super lightweight, and you've got ultra high capacity on it with both 30 and 50 round magazines. So just to get you up and rocking and rolling, because we're pretty sure you probably don't have extra magazines laying around like you do for all your AR based platforms. Let's might as well get you loaded up, get some magazines and get filled up.
You got a deal going on the SCAR. You get a trigger, a Geisley Super SCAR trigger. When you buy one of those, you got all kind of specials going on. It sounds to me like, help me out here, but I'm seeing a change, a little bit of a different attitude at FN, more emphasis on the commercial, that is the private, or if you will, civilian market. We're just seeing a lot of neat stuff coming out of FN where, in my impression was, it really focused more on military and kind of we weren't there, but now I'm kind of seeing you guys are, and this may be you doing this, I don't know, but we're getting a lot of the benefits of that right now.
Totally spot on. And no, I can't take credit for it, but it is a corporate initiative that we are really focusing on the consumer market. You know, we've done very well with our government business, and you know that provides many things for us and a lot of security for us. And to grow and to make this, you know, a truly great company in the U.S. I mean, a lot of people don't know that we manufacture, you know, all the U.S. military stuff in Columbia, South Carolina, and that's where we're making our FNS line of pistols down there, and we're making the FN-15s and the SPR rifles. You know, so this is all stuff made in America, and we're really focusing on driving that point home and letting people know that we're not just this military corporation that you can get one or two things from us, but look at all the amazing stuff that we're building specifically for, you know, the consumer market, with the benefit of coming from a company that, you know, it's really in our DNA to make things, you know, rougher and tougher and more rugged and reliable because we've had to.
Well, you know, I know the term military grade is overused, but you guys actually do make stuff that's military grade.
Yes, and, you know, speaking of the military grade and that collector series I was talking about earlier, where you can get the M4 and the M16, we kind of have a crown jewel to that line that'll be coming out at the end of the year, the M249 in semi-automatic.
In fact, we saw that at the SHOT Show, brought it over, put it in the booth while we were doing the radio show. Semi-automatic saw. Yes. Belt-fed?
Belt-fed and box magazine fed. You know, and we get people going, well, you know, what's it's semi-auto. I'll tell you, it is so much fun.
Now, this is not a toy for everyone. It's not going to be inexpensive because you can't make something like this inexpensive. But for people who want that, I got something that nobody else has at the range, or this is just going to be big-time, big boy fun, this is going to be the thing.
Yeah, I mean, and there's, you know, with the machine gun laws in the country, you know, to find a saw that was transferable before, you know, 1986, there's only a handful of them. So I think some of the last I saw were around $250,000.
This won't be that much, will it?
No, it won't be quite that much.
We're looking at what, about 8?
Maybe a little less than that.
Okay.
You know, it's we're still working the final details out, but it'll definitely be something that to have a brand new manufacturer semi-automatic belt fed with all the bells and whistles of our military gun. You know, with the sole exception of it just fires one round per pull of the trigger. It's just an amazing conversation piece, and having had some really good trigger time behind it, it shoots sweet. It is so much fun.
That is super. I'll tell you what, Mark, I know you got more stuff coming. As you're ready to talk about it, can we get you back on to let us know what FN's up to?
You bet, Tom.
All right. Now, what's the website? People want to see more about it.
You know, at fnhusa.com, you can go on there, and the one thing that you mentioned was our promotions going on right now. That Geisley trigger with a scar is a smoking deal. The PS90 mags are great. The one that hasn't got all the attention that we thought it deserves right now is Vertex came out with a brand new carry bag, something that's super discreet but quick to draw from.
Yeah.
You know, it's a $135 bag, and right now with purchases of select FNS and FNX pistols, we're giving you one of those for free.
Ooh, and Vertex makes good stuff. I mean, that's real high-end stuff. The other thing, we didn't really talk about the pistols, but I mean, you're making terrific pistols. These are like the latest generation. These are not copies of something that was brought out 20 years ago. This is really good pistols.
You know, they are. They shoot fantastic. We've been running them, in competition hard. You know, there's quite a few law enforcement agencies running them. The guns just run. They shoot fantastic. They got our hammer forged barrels in them, and they come with 3, standard capacity magazines in all our handguns. You just can't beat the value with that you get with an FNS or an FNX.
All right, Mark. Well, look, appreciate it. When you're ready to talk about some of this other things, we'll get you back on.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom.
Join the Ruger 2 Million Gun Challenge and help donate $4 million to the NRA Institute for Legislative Action. The NRA ILA is committed to preserving the Second Amendment right of all law-abiding individuals to purchase, possess, and use firearms. And Ruger pledges to donate $2 for each new Ruger firearm sold between the 2015 and 2016 NRA annual meetings. Visit Ruger.com/2 million to learn more and support the NRA ILA by buying a new Ruger firearm today.
Experts agree that the low-range variable rifle scope is best for most situations. Now, Trijicon offers a stunning 1-to-6 power variable in the AccuPoint line. Featuring a battery-free illuminated reticle, superior glass clarity, and rugged construction, it's the one scope you need for hunting and competition. Long eye relief, aircraft-grade aluminum housing, manual brightness override. See the 1 to 6 power AccuPoint at Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, offers big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose any available holster styles or colors for the guns of your choice. Alien Gear's quality products are made in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com today.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Gunny here to talk about how Glock's commitment to safety, durability, and reliability gives one a sense of confidence. Whether you're a Tier 1 operator or you're an average Joe, Glock supports those who go into harm's way by giving them the means of reliable defense. Our troops and veterans know better than anyone. You're only as good as your tools allow. Confidence is more than a state of mind. Confidence is what you carry. And I carry Glock.
All right, back with you here. Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN. Email coming in. Says, I have a question. I legally carry a crossbreed appendix holster. Okay. If stopped by the police and they request your gun, says my response would be to just unclip the single clip and give the entire holstered gun. That way it would be safe. What are your thoughts, Ron? Yeah, okay. Details make all the difference here. If you are stopped and you have the discussion, if you're in a state where you're required to inform the officer, you say, officer, just to let you know I have a permit I'm carrying today. And they say, oh, then what I would generally say is, how do you want to handle this? Some of them will say, look, here's the deal. You don't touch yours, I won't touch mine, we're good. Okay, that'll work. Someone will say, well, I'm going to disarm you. Okay, here's the thing. I guess it's the most important thing. Don't reach for your gun. Don't reach for your belt. Don't put your hands around your belt. Don't put your hands around your waist. It looks like you are reaching for your gun. Talk, don't act. How would you like to proceed? He says, well, I'm going to take your gun. He says, okay, do you want me to get it out, officer, or do you want to get it out? Keep talking. Don't be reaching. Keep those hands out where the officer can see them. If he said, well, you can get it out and say, well, I can just take it out and keep it in the holster so the gun never comes out. Was that going to work for you? Okay, yes, no, different. Or he'll probably say, I tell you what, I'll reach in there and get it out. Okay, cool, that'll work. And then at that point, you might say, officer, if you just flip that clip up, you can take the whole thing out in the holster. You don't even have to take the gun out of the holster. And he or she might say, okay, cool, appreciate that. Talk. Do not reach anywhere in the vicinity of that firearm unless you have gotten the specific okay to do that. I mentioned earlier there was a poll. It was a ORC International, God, I love this, a CNN poll. It was through October 14 to 17. They asked respondents, do you favor or oppose stricter gun control laws? 52% say that they oppose stricter gun control laws. Same poll as the one that said that the majority of Americans view NRA favorably. They do not view Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama favorably. The NRA ranks higher in favorability than either the President of the United States or Hillary Clinton. Also, of course, we have Hillary saying that the NRA, that'd be you and me, that's her enemy. Huh. Well, okay, I guess we got that cleared up. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, don't make any mistake about it. She's been for gun bans for 25 years. Openly, I mean, her husband had the Clinton gun ban, the famous 1994 Clinton gun ban, banned the sale of the semi-automatic rifles, the ones that look bad, not the ones that look good, just the ones that look bad. Because that's the real problem, is that they have a cosmetic problem. They got the U.S. District Court for the Second Circuit upheld a ban on America's most popular rifle, AR-15s and magazines. That one's going to get appealed. And actually, I've had several people who are pro-gun say this is actually a good move because the court was so unbelievably stupid in their decision, their words, not mine, although I don't disagree, that this should be one that could be overturned. The real hurdle here, you understand, is the Supreme Court has to take the case. And the Supreme Court takes only about 3% of the cases that are presented to it. So if they don't take the case, then the law stands with this gun ban intact. Which brings me to, it's about the justices, stupid. It's not about the economy for us. The presidential election. Can I share with you a concern, a personal concern? It's clear now that Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee on the Democrat side. We don't know who's going to be the nominee on the Republican side. Could be Donald Trump. The media will turn on him. They're having fun with him now, but as soon as he gets selected, the media will turn on him and do everything they can to demonize him and make him look like a fool. That's going to be a very easy task. I guess I just have a very real concern as to whether he can beat Hillary Clinton once the media turns on him. And he becomes a punchline even more so than he is now. Others tell me, no, you don't understand. He's the real deal, and people hate the government so much, and he's the guy. I don't know. I just don't know. I hope somebody can beat her. But it would be a mistake to think that just because she lies all the time and deceives us and is disingenuous, that people won't vote for her. I don't believe that's the case at all.
You're listening to Gun Talk, now on more than 200 great radio stations. Now, here's Tom.
Back with you here, 866-TALK-GUN, or just our one Tom Talk Gun. That also gets you in there. You can shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. Of course, on Twitter, @GunTalk. We, of course, have the after show. You don't want to miss that. Easiest way to grab that is to get a hold of our very, very much free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. It's where you get all the deals. If you have Gun Dealio, you've been getting some deals sent to you recently. We've had, a lot of companies are putting out special deals, and you find out about them on Gun Dealio, whether it's discounts or free magazines or free range bags when you buy a gun or whatever it happens to be. Just go to gundealio.com, or you can just go to Google Play or the App Store and download it for your smartphone. Very cool. Gun Dealio. It also, you can listen to other past shows of Gun Talk, including the after show. Now, I mentioned that the gun banners want to ban guns. That is what they want to do. They have said that for many, many years. Some people still are not clear on this. They don't believe me. And so you have to go back and say, okay, here's what they said. So we had the 94 gun ban, the Clinton gun ban, the so-called assault weapon, a term that was created by the gun banners. And they said they were very open about it. I love the fact that they're open. They said, look, the general public doesn't know the difference between full auto and semi-auto. To them, they just all look the same. We can take advantage of that. We can convince them that these are machine guns, and they will support a ban on them. I guarantee you ask somebody that doesn't know anything about guns, about assault weapons that are being banned, they will tell you they're machine guns. They still are misinformed. I actually caught CNN faking the news. Surprise, surprise. Every time they talked about the ban on semi-automatic assault weapons, big quotes around that, they showed video of machine guns. Wow. So the next year, Dianne Feinstein was being interviewed on 60 Minutes, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and she was being asked about the assault weapons ban. And she was very open about the fact that what she really wanted was confiscation, not a ban on the sale of them, but she wanted confiscation. Here's Senator Dianne Feinstein.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it.
There you go. I mean, that's simple as that. If I could have gotten the votes, confiscate the guns, I would have done it. You don't have to take my word for it. The gun banners will tell you our goal is not to ban the sale, not to restrict, not to have waiting periods, not to have background checks. Our goal is to pick them up. Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. So for those who say, well, we can accept this one little thing. Really? When you know where they want to go, why would you take even the slightest step toward that place? Why would you not say, no, this far and no more? In fact, we're going to back the line up. We're going to start getting some of our gun rights back. Why would you go along? Why would any gun owner say, well, yeah, we can kind of do maybe an expanded background check wouldn't be so bad, really? When all that is registration. Because you see, of course, the whole universal background check doesn't work if you don't have registration. Because they have to be able to show and find out who still has the guns. Because they have to know that you have all the guns that you said you did. And if you don't have those, can you prove that you gave them or sold them to somebody and we have a record of that? Because the whole universal background check is all about the government having a record of every gun transfer. That's what the law is. You have to go through a firearms dealer. You have to get the FBI's okay to give a gun to a youngster. You have to get the FBI's okay to loan a gun to your buddy to go hunting. And the only way that works is if they have a record of who has what gun. And the only way that works is if there are periodic checks of do you still have the guns that you reported to us that you have. Show them to us. Bring them all in and show them to us. If you can't show us that you have all the guns that are on the list, that in and of itself is a crime. Because it's prima facie evidence that you transferred a gun to someone without us having a record of it, blah, 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 blah. Mr. and Mrs. America turned them all in. She could have gotten the votes. Why would you take even the slightest step in that direction? I do not understand it. I do not understand why people would agree to something like that. I think perhaps a lot of people just have not thought this through. They don't understand. Or they think that I'm overstating this. Oh, you're paranoid. You're crazy. Nobody really wants to take your guns away. How many times have you heard that? No one wants to take your guns away. Barack Obama hasn't taken your guns away, only because he hasn't been able to. He has instituted a number of gun control laws in and of himself, just on its own. Stroke of the pen, law of the land, Paul Begala's famous quote, executive orders. He can't get it through Congress, so he keeps lying about it, trying to get it through Congress. It's amazing. It's just amazing to me. Why would any gun owner agree to any additional gun control law when they stand there and tell you, we're going to get it a slice at a time and we're going to work our way toward total gun confiscation? Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. Their words, not mine. I'm just telling you what they're saying, and I take them at their word. When they say we want to confiscate all your guns, I believe them.
In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. Shoot better. Stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have GUNDEALIO, the free app for your smartphone. GUNDEALIO delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get GUNDEALIO. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with GUNDEALIO. GUNDEALIO.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
In the fight for gun rights, we need ammunition. Intellectual ammunition. And no one does it better than researcher John Lott, author of More Guns, Less Crime. John created the Crime Prevention Research Center to counter the junk studies being done to push gun control. But he doesn't have the big bucks of billionaires like Michael Bloomberg. All he has is us. So I'm asking for your help. Go to crimeresearch.org and donate what you can. This research makes all the difference. People ask what they can do to help preserve the Second Amendment. Honestly, this is one of the best moves you can make. If you can give a lot, that's great, but even the cost of a box of ammo helps. We need John Lott's intellectual ammunition. Go to crimeresearch.org. It's time to step up. crimeresearch.org. If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. Dury'sGuns.com. Very interesting. They're going to make a movie about Fast and Furious, the government gun running program that resulted in the deaths of hundreds of people. Yes, our government, U.S. government, orchestrated smuggling guns to narco-terrorists in Mexico. People say, well, it was a botched sting operation. No, it wasn't. Nothing was botched. It worked perfectly. It worked exactly as designed. Nothing went wrong with the Fast and Furious program. Eric Holder's Fast and Furious program. Nothing went wrong. It went perfectly. The plan was to get these guns into gun stores and then sell them to people who would then transport them to the narco-terrorist. And then see which guns showed up at crime scenes and track them that way. There's no tracking mechanism there. There was never a plan to arrest people because they were trafficking in guns. The plan was to supply the guns to the narco-terrorist. And it worked great. Thousands of guns went down. Hundreds of people are reported to have been killed with these guns, including 2 U.S. federal law enforcement officers. Well, they're going to make a movie out of the book. John Dodson's book. The book was titled The Unarmed Truth, My Fight to Blow the Whistle and Exposed Fast and Furious, subtitled The Story the ATF Doesn't Want You to Know. The ATF, by the way, tried to censor the book. There were a lot of legal maneuvers. The ACLU got involved, finally. Fast and Furious. Very interesting. We'll see what that movie shapes up as. David's on line 2 in Lebanon, Missouri. Got a range report for us. Hey, David, what'd you do?
38 For my wife, her first gun ever, and she loved the thing. It was the first gun that, other than the .22, that she felt comfortable with the recoil.
And this was a SIG P238?
Right.
How did she come about choosing that? Was that a gun that you already owned?
No. I had a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, which is a great gun, but she didn't like it as far as the recoil. But we went over to a range with some people, and the women, the wives, they all rented guns, and they tried different ones out. And another wife, really liked the SIG.
Isn't that interesting? You can have different guns, and that's why I always say you got to go try some because, someone may like a Bodyguard, someone else likes the P238. I mean, the P238 for me, the reason I like it is it's kind of a miniature 1911, and it has a really good trigger.
Absolutely. I'm jealous now, frankly. But the amazing thing is that she never wanted anything to do with guns. She didn't want a gun in the home. She didn't want a gun herself, and now she's going to be taking her CCW class next week.
Wow, that's quite the transformation.
I know. It took a while, though.
That's okay. You can't hurry stuff like that. As I say, you cannot push a rope. You just kind of let it happen and let them get there. And keep supporting her, take her out to the range, have her shoot some fun stuff. And the other thing is, I love the fact that she was at the range with some friends of hers, some women friends. Get the guys out of the way, get the husbands out of the way, and watch what happens.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
David, thank you for the range report. That's very good. I appreciate that. Let's see. Jerry is on line 1 out of Roseburg, Oregon. Jerry, Glock question, huh?
Yes, sir. I've got a Glock 19 9mm, and I saw when I was researching what to get, I saw a lot of people talking about the differences between the Generation 3 and Generation 4, and I was just curious to hear your thoughts and see if you had a preference.
It's personal preference. Let's see. With the Gen 4s, you get replaceable back straps. You get a double spring. You get a little bit more aggressive, not quite checkering, but texturing, if you will. I like anything that makes the grip smaller, so I'm kind of I guess maybe a Gen 4 fan. It's one of the reasons I've always liked the Smith & Wesson M&Ps, Spring for Armory, the XDMs, anything I can swap grips out on or make the grip smaller, I'm all for that. So probably I would go toward the Gen 4, but it really is personal preference. They all work great. I mean, is there anything just kind of, it's so reliable you can take it for granted, like a Glock? They just kind of work.
Have you ever heard anybody having problems with low-power ammo, like 115 grain rounds in the Generation 4?
I've not heard reports of that. It's not saying that it hasn't happened or anything. It's just nothing that's come my way, so I don't know. So, look, I appreciate that. Let's do this. Do we have, we can still get Matthew in here. Line 2, out of Metairie, Louisiana. Hey, Matthew, what you thinking?
Everybody tells you you're paranoid. Just tell them just because they're not paranoid doesn't mean that they're not out to get them.
That's true. Ciao. You can be paranoid, and they really are out to get you. So there you go. It's or the way I like it is the guy who says, "I know I'm paranoid. I just don't know if I'm paranoid enough." So I understand your thinking there because they are out to get you. And despite most of the time they're saying, no, we don't want to take all your guns. And then every once in a while, like Dianne Feinstein did, they come out and say, yeah, our goal is to take them all away. And now, as I say, the handlers have figured out, they've said, now's the time. You can call for gun confiscation. So Hillary calls for gun confiscation last week. Unbelievable. Unthinkable. We should at least consider the Australia model. For those who don't know, they required people to turn in their guns. There's no other word for that. It's not a gun buyback. It's not a gun buy-up. It's a confiscation. There is some compensation involved, but if you don't do it, it's a crime. That's called confiscation in anybody's book. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in because actually, even though we have a few minutes left of the broadcast, you can join us for the after show if you'd like to be part of that. So give us a holler or just dial Tom 1 and then Tom Talk Gun. If it's a cell phone, just Tom Talk Gun. Mike called. He didn't want to be on, but he said, hey, gun buybacks, they're just using tax money they already stole from you to then take your guns away. Yeah. As I've always said, there's no such thing as a gun buyback unless you're buying a gun back from a buddy that you sold to him. The government can't buy back guns. They never had them. It's a buy up or it's a confiscation if it's required, but it's certainly not a buy back. Line 3, John, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Talk to me about Glocks, John.
Big fan of Glocks. I've shot both the Generation 4 and the Generation 3. Never had any trouble with any type of ammunition running through any of the 9mm. The one thing I do like about the Glock Generation 3 a little better is the mag release. So for some reason, the way I grip the Generation 4s, I accidentally depress that on some occasions and get a little misty. But as far as Generation 3, never had any kind of problem.
Interesting. And that kind of goes to what I was saying is it's very much individual. Don't you find that, I mean, you can pick up a gun and you like it and hand it to a buddy and he says, nah, it's not quite what I like.
Oh, absolutely. And you've got to take it to the range. You can't just handle it in the store because I didn't notice anything about the mag release being a problem until I actually had it at the range.
Ah, excellent point. Once again, an argument for finding a range where you can rent guns or finding a buddy who has a lot of guns that you can use when you go to the range.
Absolutely. Those are the kinds of buddies you need.
That's exactly right. And if they will supply the ammo, then it's like a buddy for life at that point.
Nothing wrong with free ammo.
That's right. I hadn't found that guy yet, but I do have a lot of them that say, look, if you bring the ammo, you can shoot it. So I appreciate the call. Yeah, I got a buddy who says, hey, you want to come shoot my Thompson? Yeah. He said, well, you got to bring some ammo. Oh, well, that makes sense. Nobody's going to supply ammo for your full auto, but tried to get me to buy a Thompson. I said, why do I have to buy one? I can shoot yours anytime I want to. We'll just go out to the range. Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, let's see. The Moms Demand Action, the Michael Bloomberg-backed group. Bloomberg is pouring millions of his own money. And by the way, if you don't know, Michael Bloomberg is worth somewhere between $35 and $40 billion. And he has pledged to put tens of millions of dollars into gun control, gun bans. And so he has created and formed this Everytown for Gun Safety and the Moms Demand Action, two groups. Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense is the name of the group. And they are, I will tell you, they're very good on social media. They are very effective. I signed up because I wanted to see what they're doing. I get emails from them, usually multiple emails a day. They are hammering this thing like a blacksmith banging on an anvil, and they can pour big money into small elections. That's what's important. They say, okay, we've got a state Senate election. We've got a state election. We'll just go in there and drop $300,000 into a media buy. Bang, done. Got it. You win it. If you're not involved, let me just ask you personally to please make a commitment this election season, which starts today, right now, right this moment. Find candidates that you like, that you can support. Ask them the right questions about guns and gun rights, not about hunting. They'll say, well, I support hunters' rights. Well, you're not my guy then because you don't understand. Get behind them. Volunteer to help them. Write them a check if you can. Talk it up. Talk to everybody you know, gun owners, non-gun owners, because we're fighting Bloomberg's billions at this point. In the meantime, go out and do a little shooting. Take somebody with you. If you have a carry permit, make the commitment. Carry everywhere you can. Because you never know where the bad guys are. And the bad guys are, in fact, everywhere. Be safe out there this week. We'll see you next time.